As you know, like we had some trouble last week. School was closed, and then we had to cancel our room. But I'm glad you guys made it, and we thank our speaker, Perry Benson. He made it too. We have programmed 6 lectures for this semester. We have, as you have seen, we have new students and new ACM members. So far they don't know, but they will be members. And we're still planning about that trip we talked about last semester. Also, as you guys might heard, there is a new IEEE chapter, so you're gonna hear about us too. And well, we'll welcome you this year, this semester. And let me introduce our speaker, Perry Benson. He's been with Oracle Corporation for 13 years. Oracle, big name for us, huh? So he's currently the Senior Global Program Manager of the Oracle Academy Introduction Program. It's a segment of Oracle Education Initiatives. His leadership focuses in 38 countries, where he managed a global team of 48 staff who train and support over 147,000 teachers, professors, and students enrolled in the Oracle Academy Introduction Program. Prior working with the Oracle Education Initiative, Mr. Benson was Education Manager for core delivery of Oracle University's Southeast Gulf Coast region. Mr. Benson has a broad professional background as an Oracle Senior Principal Technical Instructor, delivering training for certification to IT professionals. So everybody, please welcome Mr. Perry Benson.
Thank you. I want to thank you all very much for letting us, allowing us to come here and spend some time with you this evening. We've put together a lecture for you that I'd like to share with you, and the lecture that we have, the entire presentation is available. You can find it out at Facebook. And if you look at the ThinkQuest location, you'll find this exact presentation with a lot of the comments that I'm also presenting here this evening. And you can also go out to my website at Oracle Academy, academy.oracle.com. There you can also find this presentation and some notes on the presentation here this evening. Today, we want to talk to you. We want to really come here and talk to you a little bit about what Oracle does, what we are in the world, how globalization really has affected the 21st century workplace. And we also want to talk to you what we feel are the major skills that are necessary for success for you in today's workplace. And then we want to talk to you about how we feel you could use some of the projects that you may be using in your program that you can use on your resume to better help you become recognized as a potential candidate for employment when you're out there looking for that first, second, or third job that you really want to begin to work on. And we also want to leave here challenging you and motivating you to really do what it takes to become job ready. As you realize, we're in a really difficult economic state globally, and anything that we can do to increase your vision, increase your visibility is going to be essential. I want to talk to you a little bit about Oracle Corporation in general. A lot of people don't realize how long we've been around. It's interesting to me as I travel around or have been in different places over the past 13 years, and even friends today. I say I work for Oracle, and I start talking, and they say, I'm sorry, you have to excuse me, I don't know what Oracle is. And I always say, well, we're like Microsoft, but we're a little different. But because everybody knows the Microsoft name. And the reason for that is because we're not necessarily a household name per se, because we are really working in the larger scope of things. We're the market leader in enterprise software products. For the past 30+ years, Larry Ellison, who's our CEO, has been really on the cutting edge of ideas that really have been forming the way we are looking at the future. We always kind of have this joke at Oracle, those of us who work there, is that a lot of times we feel like we shoot the gun and then we aim after we shoot, because It's like, what happened? We just did something, and what was it that we just did? Oh, that's what we're doing, and then it becomes the direction that we seem to be going in. We are the #1 provider of database software globally. 43% of the market share is using Oracle. And it's pretty amazing to me as I watch the company develop over the past years that I've been here, and just to think that we're supporting over 370,000 customers in over 145 countries. We're everywhere, in all lines of business. And 29,000 of our employees, we just keep growing and growing and growing, but at this point, 29,000 of the over 100,000 employees that we have globally are people who are developers and engineers. Just in the past 10 years, we have exponentially grown as a company. When I came into the company about 13 years ago, there were about 30,000 employees globally. So right now, the total number of developers and engineers is what was the number of employees globally just 10 years ago. So there's definitely a need out there, and we are supporting so many people globally. We've got over 10 million developers that we support in online communities around the world. The Oracle Academy supports over 1 million students. I am personally responsible for 147,000 of those customers, myself and my team. Here at Georgia State, you all may be a part of the advanced program. We have different types of programs, and your professors and students, I believe, are members of the advanced program, which gives you access to the Oracle University curriculum titles and all of the offerings that are available. Professors can take out that curriculum and use it to train you and give you the skills necessary so that you can begin developing your skills as you move into your careers. To give you some ideas of the different types of organizations that actually use Oracle, we are #1 in 50 product or industry categories. If any banking that you're doing, the financial service industry, the top 10 largest global banks use Oracle. Just to give you an idea, somewhere along the line, something's probably using one of our software packages. As far as communications is concerned, 20 of the top 20 service providers are using Oracle. And if we talk about life sciences industries and pharmaceutical companies, 20 of the top 20 pharmaceutical companies are actually using Oracle. And travel, airlines, Delta, right here in Atlanta is a perfect example of a company that is using our databases for so many different parts of their business rules. And it's interesting whenever you look at all of the Fortune 500 global companies, media and entertainment, are using our products. So, technology is really an exciting place to be. We have to think, you know, Google, Yahoo, Intel, Cisco, Apple, everybody. All these other companies are creating and innovating in technology. It's not just us at Oracle. I'm not here just to, you know, I am here to promote Oracle because I do work for Oracle and I want to inform you about, you know, what we're doing and what we're about. But we also want you to realize that without all these other companies out there, we wouldn't be as competitive or doing what we're doing, because many of you realize the products that we provide, we work on the platforms and cooperate with the other platforms and strategists that are out there within these other companies. But we have to think about how the internet's changed everything, and for most of us, you know, here in the room, you're an audience that maybe many of you can't even think of life without having the internet. But for people like my age, it's interesting to see how the internet really has changed things. We really lose sight of how things have changed in the marketplace. And when we think about it, it's changed how we network socially. Years ago, if you were applying for a position or a job, you didn't have the internet to go out and apply online. You have to think you'd have to go to a newspaper, you'd have to go out maybe look at a magazine and find the position, and once you found the position, you'd have to manually use a typewriter to type up a resume, and you would send that resume off in the snail mail, And there was a whole different process that's available now. So what's really happening now is it's changed education, it's changed how businesses work, and how products are being developed. And it changes also the scope of who's available for these jobs. You're now competing not only with all of you in this room sitting here enjoying the pizza and the soda and everything else, because it's pretty cool the way you guys get together here. I like it. But you're also competing against everybody else in the world, and it makes things pretty tough. Used to be everything was centralized. Whenever we think back before the internet, everything was centralized, everything was in one location. All of your developers for your company would be in one particular location, like here in Atlanta, in my Atlanta office. You would have one group of developers, they would meet face-to-face many, many times per day, and that doesn't happen anymore. The way things are being distributed now, everything is in a very, very global market. All of you sitting in this room, I think is fascinating because I can see so many different people from so many different cultures right here. You're a perfect example of how everything that we do today has become really a global economy. It's a global world that we all live in. I go to my office up on Abernathy, up 400, just north of the city. We're in the 500 building up there. That's where Oracle's located. And when I go into that office, even though we have thousands of employees that are in that office there, I don't have one single person in the office that I work with. My entire team is either in India, they're in China, I've got people in Egypt, I've got them in Florence, Italy, I've got them in Ireland, I've got people in the UK, I've got them everywhere. And that's what we have to redesign our business, we have to design our model and change the way we do things so that we can collaborate and communicate effectively in a global business model, which part of doing all of this is thinking about how the competitive bar is being raised globally in a global economy. The global economy has raised the competitive bar for getting jobs and competing for jobs, not just by a few inches, it's really, I think, by leaps and bounds. It has really significantly exposed the availability of jobs in particular locations, and it's also given us an opportunity. For example, at Oracle, we do some of our product development in Egypt. We do some in Peru. Peru's become a hot spot for us. We do a lot in Romania. We have centers all over the world. What I'm fortunate to experience in my role working with the Oracle Education Initiatives, usually when we're moving into a developing region and within the world, I get to follow in that region, training professors and instructors and trainers throughout the world who are then able to in turn teach students programming languages. Data modeling, SQL, PLSQL, we go in behind it because what we are trying to create and what we need to create is a workforce. We need to create that sustainable workforce that's available to be able to sustain the business needs of that region. Now, this is not only happening in the other countries; it's happening here in the United States as well. There are a lot of examples that I can think of here in the United States. West Virginia is traditionally a coal mining region where they mine minerals. They bring coal and natural resources out of the ground, and that's the way families have sustained their living for generations. Recently, we have worked with the state of West Virginia. They worked on a project bringing call centers into this area. We've got a group of people that are good, hard-working people that want a chance, they need an opportunity